Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Breakthrough Blueprint, where we talk to entrepreneurs about how they became successful today. And I have with me my amazing friend Omer, and I'll hand it over to him to introduce himself.
What's up, guys? Mel, thank you for having me on. My name is Omer. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Remote Latinos. We help companies around the world find A-player talent, mostly from Latin America. We do hire from all over the world. We work with agencies, real estate investors, and many other companies and brands. And yeah, really excited to share some tips. Things are working in 2026, and hopefully this is going to be a valuable conversation for you.
Amazing, amazing. So, how did you even get started? Like, what were you doing before you started this company?
I was in high ticket sales for a few years and I love high ticket sales. I think anyone that has any charisma, energy, and is a people person, they need to get into high ticket sales because that is a great learning experience, especially with the right company. So I was doing that with first an agency and then a coaching program. And that's when I realized as I was closing a lot of these people, I was like, how they kept complaining about team members and how to find VAs and go into all these platforms. And I was like, maybe there's a way where I can help you guys out since I was living in Colombia and I saw just amazing talent, and I was like, maybe there's a way to connect people. And we have a mutual friend, Eric Fosnot, right? And he was actually my very first client in 2020 and hired a girl by the name of Danny from us. And she's been with him for almost 6 years. This will be her 6th year with him. And really everything just started from there. I knew high ticket eventually it can run its course if the company moves in a different direction, you don't see eye to eye with the founders, whatever the case is. So thankfully, I was building something on the side, and I went all in it back in 2021. Partnered up with my current business partner Esteban in 2022, and yeah, we've hired almost 3,000 people at this point. We've worked with like over 1,000 companies, and just continuing to grow and provide opportunities for people.
Wow, that's incredible. In that time that you've had the business, what were some of the biggest struggles that you've overcome to get to this point today?
Definitely, when you focus on one thing for so many years, you lack many disciplines and skills in others. So, for example, I was really good at sales, but I didn't really know much about marketing and I knew almost
Hmm.
nothing about operations and fulfillment. So, a lot of these things I've had to learn. I've had to learn how to hire the right people and just really learn what those things are because anything to do with sales, I would say I'm pretty good at. I've had to learn and adapt into becoming a sales manager rather than just being a salesperson. So it's really the not knowing, the gaps of not knowing the other 70 to 80% of the business, right? Sales is just a part of the business. It's not everything. If you're getting a lot of sales, but you're not fulfilling people, people are not happy, you're not generating consistent results, you are not building your brand, your company's only going to sell for so long, right? And so that was something that I've definitely had to learn is just like the back end and operation of the company, learning more about marketing and getting into content myself and really just figuring out how to grow because at one point 100K a month seemed like a crazy like whoa, that's so far away. And now when we do 100K a month, I'm like we're bad. What's going on? Why do we have such a bad month? So, you level up. You have to I would say one more thing is like you have to consistently level up and you consistently create higher standards because the people that work for you, work with you, whatever,
Hmm.
they don't want to get paid the same forever, right? So the only way that they can grow is that the company
Hmm.
grows. And the only way the company grows is, yeah, revenue and retention and client success and referrals and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
I had a portion dialed in, and then the rest of the business I just had to learn as we go and continuously invest in myself and my skills and things like that.
So, in terms of investing in yourself, have you gotten coaching or joined any masterminds?
Oh yeah, a lot. We spent 6 figures into all that stuff. Last one was Alex Hermosi. We actually went to visit him last year. Visit him is crazy. It's not like I went to his house. I went to visit his office. We invested into their mentorship, the $30,000 mentorship. So we spent time with him, his team specifically. He did a Q&A. So that was good. That gave us a lot of like direction. I would say there wasn't specific things that they covered. They just covered what we needed. And it was really interesting because a lot of businesses there were nothing like us. So we learned,
Hmm.
a little bit of other stuff from other businesses. And yeah, we're consistently investing into like learning more about sales, marketing, and now AI. It's a relationship business, right? So just making relationships and how can we provide value to other people and what can they do for us? And yeah, absolutely. We've invested a lot of money into just growing and learning.
Wow, that's amazing. That sounds awesome. So, how do you source the VAs?
Many ways. One, we run paid ads. So we run advertising on Facebook, Meta ads, whatever. Two, we're on all sorts of job platforms, LinkedIn, Torre, Indeed. Three, we have a lot of referrals. Four is our brand. We have a combined I mean, we're getting close to 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, everything. So almost 100,000 people there. So they found out about us. We have a Facebook group that finds out about us. Just really a lot. I mean, we have in our pipeline like well over like 50,000 candidates at this point that have come through our process and things like that. Obviously, not everybody's qualified, but yeah, many different ways. And I would say there's two sides to this business, right? One is finding the business and the clients, and the other one is the candidates and the candidate pool. So
Hmm.
yeah, those are the 5 ways.
Interesting. So I'm sure these VAs do a variety of things, whether it's editing or more personal assistant stuff. How do you make sure they are qualified?
Variety of ways. First things first, English. They don't
Hmm.
speak English and they're immediately disqualified.
Mm,
Second thing is like their work experience and skill. Like what are they actually good at, and how long have they done it? You could be good at something, but if you only did it for a month, how good are you? So preferably someone that's done it for at least 1 or 2 years. I personally love when people stick in one company. Sometimes they move around and for different reasons. But personally, when I see that, I'm like, bro, you're 22. Why have you not had just 2 or 3 jobs? Like, why
mhm,
can you just have one? Right? Because when I was their age, I was for one company for 2 years and then I went to another one for a year. And that was like, and the only reason I left because I started the business. I would have stayed longer otherwise. So to me, someone that moves around a lot is usually not a good performer, right? Or something, you know, you never know. Obviously, they could, maybe the company ran out of money, whatever the case may be. So obviously, the skill experience, English. We do a lot of testings, so personality tests, skill testing, and then we do an AI interview and a personal interview just to double check on them. And then the clients also do the interview as well because we only know so much about the business itself. So we want the clients to pick the best people. And um, I would say there's 3 stages to our business. Stage one is our initial partnership. People pay us, we launch them. Part two is we present candidates and you hire someone. And then part three is the hiring actually working out. So I call each phase a 33 phase. The first phase is 33%. The next one is 33%. And the next one, 34%, because them working out is the most important thing. I don't give a shit if
mhm.
you hire someone and then they quit, they don't work out, whatever the case is. So at the end of the day, you can say, I can say I have 100,000 qualified people. No, you don't. Until they hire, until they get hired, they perform and they stick with you because they can perform for 1 month. Cool. What are they like in a year from now? Are they still in your business? Longevity and results is the only thing that really matters, right? So if they get you results and they stick with you, that's what matters. So I think upfront, it's almost like an addition, and they need to qualify into like what I mentioned, the 1 or 2 year experience, their English, and the testings that they did. But then the most important thing that I look for is once we hire you, how do you perform? For example, I just hired a closer, and then within 2 weeks he like quit because he was like he didn't align with our offer. It wasn't a good fit, and that's okay. I was literally just talking to one of my team members, my project manager, and I was like, I wonder how I could have caught this in day 3 instead of day
Mm,
10. I just
mhm,
wasted 2 weeks. Thank God it wasn't 2, 3 months, So I feel like I've leveled up
mhm.
because before, maybe 2, 3 years ago, it would have taken me 3, 4 months to figure that out. So yeah, sometimes you hire someone that's qualified, but you put them in the wrong
Mhm.
seat. Sometimes you hire someone that's qualified and they're too qualified. They're overly qualified. So you have to be very careful because if you hire overqualified people and they notice like, holy shit, I'm underpaid. This company doesn't have anything
Mm,
together. They're going to quit. So you have to know where your business is at. People are like, I just want to hire
yeah,
A players. Like, dude, you might not have an A player company to hire A players. You might need a B player
exactly.
and then grow with them to the next level.
Yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. I was actually talking to someone on my podcast yesterday who's a sales like manager and trainer and coach and all of that. And he was saying the exact same thing. And it can be hard to assess a sales, a closer skills from a Loom video and their metrics. It's personality fit, culture fit. Like, are they
Everything.
actually going to put the work in once they get there? Just because they done it in the past doesn't mean. So, how did you catch it early this time?
Well, thankfully he quit. Oh, that was
Okay.
I think he realized it because I put pressure on him because when I first started my high ticket journey, he wasn't performing well, but I was showing up and I cared. So I didn't
Hmm.
get I didn't get let go. Now, thankfully, the company that I worked for in the beginning, they didn't have their P's and Q's together. It wasn't like they fed me leads and they lost money
Yeah.
on me, but it did get to the point where I started to get leads and I wasn't closing and it was like month 3, month 4, but then things that clicked around month 4, 5. That's when things started clicking for me and then we blew up and it was like my first time making like real money.
Hmm.
So I think with him, I just started really putting pressure on him. And because I'm like, yo, like next week, literally this week, he was supposed to start taking sales calls. And I think he just wasn't aligned with what we're doing. He was a little bit too young for my liking as a closer, to be honest with you. Even though
Hmm.
I was 23, he was 20. I mean, that 3 year gap is absolutely massive. And I kind of overlooked that. A big thing for a lot of people watching this I think is a really big thing is if you are running a B2B company and you're talking to business owners, you want to hire
Hmm.
a person that has B2B experience, unless they are elite, exquisite, great at B2C, like top 1%. then sure.
Mhm.
But if they're good at B2C, maybe not great, and obviously there's gaps, and you're hiring them to do B2B, not only do you have to fill out the gaps that they have to learn with a sales process, but now
Yeah.
you have to give them the knowledge of what talking to businesses are. Because there's certain things you can get away with telling a customer that
Mhm.
you could never get away with telling a sophisticated multi-million dollar business owner. And
Exactly.
I overlooked that because everybody in my company has, if that when I brought them here, they had B2B experience, and he was the first one that didn't. And I was just like, I feel like this is so easy. It's like virtual. It makes sense, like delegating
Mhm.
work, da da da. So I overlooked that part, and now I'm like, if they don't have B2B experience, they better be elite, exquisite, like top 1% of B2C. Or I'd literally rather take a mediocre B2B person than a very good B2C person. If that B2B person has a coach, if he's coachable,
Yeah.
he's hungry, he shows up, I can level you up. I was not a good closer at one point, and then I learned how to be a closer. It's a skill.
Mhm.
But if you're cocky, you don't show up, it's hard to converse with you, and you're not, you consistently make the same mistakes, then it's kind of like a flop. So yeah, I think I just drilled this guy so much to the point where he quit. Part of it was me,
Got you. Hey, I mean, that's part of the filtering process, and if you
100%.
can't handle the heat, gotta stay out of the kitchen. But no, I think that
Exactly.
makes a lot of sense, and especially for sophisticated buyers and CEOs who might be older,
Yeah.
sometimes age you can't it's such just something that you can't replace, and that maturity that comes with it and presence. But that's really
Yeah.
interesting.
I would say, like, I try not to be ageist, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because like, I wanna be I'm getting, um, video recordings now from other closers, and some of them are 20, and don't get me wrong, I'm like, kinda like I'm, like, having to think about it a little bit more. Obviously, if they have the resume, but it's like, at 20
Mhm.
years old, how are you gonna have the resume? But also, like, man, if you're hungry and if
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not talking to a 20-year-old, that's the biggest part. Like, if I feel like I'm talking to a 20-year-old and I'm a 36-year-old that runs a marketing agency that makes $200,000 a month, and I want to hire virtual assistants, and I'm talking to this kid that doesn't know anything
Mhm.
about business and like is then whatever. But if you're 20 and you're sharp and you've put in the time and work, and today when I started sales, there was only a
Mhm.
couple sales mentors. It was like Grant Cardone. They were like the most typical
Mhm.
people. Today, you literally don't have to pay anybody. You go online, you look up Jeremy Miner, you look up Cole
Mhm.
Gordon, you look up all these, you
Mhm.
look at Josh Lyons. There's hundreds of hours for free. Like, you literally don't have to pay anybody, and you
Mhm.
learn the art of sales. Like, they literally, I mean, I think it's Josh Lyons. He has like 2-hour sales calls that he breaks down from the beginning to the end, and he pauses. Da, da, da. I'm like, bro, I mean, I'm sure he has a course, but
Mhm.
if I'm a closer, I can learn so much about that. And I think people, because there's so much information out there,
Yeah.
people lack information. They lack discipline to learn one thing, and then it kind of gets crazy. They bounce around a lot. I even told the closer, I was like, "Don't put us on your resume. Like, you were here for 2 weeks. Just make it a
Don't
gap." Even though
mention me.
I know. I was like, I know, I taught you a lot, but like, don't even put us there. Like, you're just, it's gonna hurt you more than help you. So, yeah, it's true.
Gotcha, gotcha. Wow, love that. And I know you mentioned AI. How are you leveraging AI in your business?
Everywhere. I mean, literally from content. I've
Mhm.
literally replaced myself from doing a lot of the content now to just doing AI videos,
Mhm.
which has been cool. Some of it looks a little bit goofy, but some of it looks legit. I'm like, whoa, this is like, it's kind of scary because I'm like, it's not me. From the introduction videos that we do with
Mm,
clients to my content to then we use it with grading the people, like the talent that comes to us. We actually get to like learn where they're at. A lot of the back end tools, a lot of like the informational stuff that before maybe would have taken us 2 or 3 weeks to build because we had to test it. Now AI can just like save us time within like
mhm.
1 or 2 days. We can figure stuff out. My entire team uses it for literally almost everything. Some more than others. Like, I don't need my salesperson on ChatGPT all day, right? But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I would say literally everything, and I still need to learn all more. I need One of the things that I want to start like myself looking into is Claude. I want to get off OpenAI because the whole transition that happened. But I have like my entire life into ChatGPT, and I feel
I
like I'm
know.
breaking up with like my 3-year girlfriend because it's
I know
like
there is a way to download. I was looking it up actually to like sort of download your
everything.
information and then transition it to Claude. Yeah.
I think if I can do that, I need to look into that because I want to
Mhm.
get off OpenAI, and I like what Claude is doing, and them
Yeah.
kind of being on their own there. I think that's pretty cool. They're kind of taking a stand, and yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah, we use it everywhere.
Love that. And so for the AI videos that you're generating of yourself, are you using like HeyGen and 11 Labs, or what are you using for
Yeah,
that?
literally. Hey, Gen Level Labs. We have a company that we're paying to as well. I want to try, Icon's app. My
Mhm.
good friends Icon and Kevin, they have a Icon that they have. So that's on the to do list as well to use, and it looks like they're getting insane results.
Mhm.
Like I can literally replace himself from making content. His whole
Yeah.
dream was to go viral, right? As a kid. And then he went viral and it's not even him. It's like his avatar, which is it's so funny. But it's been blowing up. I think
Mhm.
he has like two or 300,000 followers. Like they're real
Yeah.
people. Joe Rogan follows him. I mean, it's like it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I mean,
Mhm.
he was like one of the pioneers of replacing himself with content because, truth be told, outside of this, I don't really like. I hate making content. I used to like it. I like making comedy content. So if you look at my page, I have a lot of silly videos. I enjoy that, but making like educational short, I don't know. I don't even like looking at them. I like podcasts, I like long form, and then I like comedic videos. Comedic videos I do better with my business partner, and then long form, I eventually want to do when I get my home base and have a podcast studio and things like that. I'd love to have interview people just like what you're doing and things like that.
Mhm.
But you got to do what I think content you can tell when people like what they're doing versus it's being forced. And I feel like with mine, it just like feels so forced at times, and
Yeah.
it feels good to like, hey, I've done thousands of hours of content. I have so many different avatars. Like they're literally taking podcast clips just like this. And I don't know if they'll use this, but podcast clips just like this. And then they'll put it into a script and it literally it looks and sounds so real. And
Mhm.
all I have to do, they send me a video. It's a company that we pay for. They send me a video every day and I just need to post it. That's it.
I'll have to talk
It's
to you about that after this.
It's crazy. Yeah, yeah, and they perform just as well. Like my brand hasn't like really blown up, but they perform. To me, I'm like, okay, I went from spending time creating my
Mhm.
content and thinking about it to now here's a service that does everything for you and just sends it to you. So yeah, but we can talk camera about it.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about that more. Because like, I don't mind doing talking head content, and I was like, I'm always trying to try different formats or talk about
Yeah.
different things, but at a certain point, me filming and then having an editor record or edit it and add AI workflows or whatever, like, is that even the most efficient use of time and money, or do I pay a little bit more to do what you're doing? Probably. So that's something I'm thinking about a lot, and I had another guest on my podcast talking about like the ethical line of AI, where some people are doing these AI generated videos, but they're not actually marking it like generated by AI. And
Mm.
so we're getting into a new territory of like everyone needs to sort of determine where their ethical line and boundary is and what they're willing to,
I
like
see. That's
admit.
actually a really good point. I guess for me, because I'm not talking about anything egregious, I'm literally like, here's how to hire a VA,
Hmm.
and like here, like
Yeah.
why does it matter if it's me or an AI, right?
Hmm.
Versus
Hmm.
like, hey, this is a real person. Like if I took an AI, if I took one of our candidates and I created this image of someone and
Hmm.
then they are portraying to be a Latino or Latina, beautiful Latina, let's say, and they have this great English and that's a little bit different because now I'm selling something fake. Versus me, I actually see zero problem with it. But I have a
Hmm.
competitor, don't want to say who they are, but I have a competitor that if you go to their website, a lot of their like logo, a lot of their
Hmm.
avatars are AI,
Hmm.
100%. The people that they have videos of are real, but
Yeah.
like the people that are on their website, like the icons on their video on their website, it's 100% fake, and it's 100% AI. It's not even like a good AI. It's like a cartoonish AI of a really like sexy Latina, and I'm like, this is fucked. Like this is not cool. But also like nobody's saying anything about it. So they're getting away with it. So I think it depends on how egregious it is. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like, times are changing, the technology is changing so rapidly. Like, I saw a high ticket offer that's like, it teaches you how to generate very sexy, real looking AI videos so you can start an OnlyFans and have that AI generated girl make tons of money on OnlyFans.
I heard that I heard from a source that OnlyFans now requires an ID. So you can't they're banning
Okay.
that because like there's guys that would pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some of these AI like sexy girls are like insane. I mean, it's literally heavenly, right? And you would never know because
Yeah.
I'm like, I've sent some of these girls to my friends. And I'm like, whoa, and they're like, it's an AI. I'm like, this is the best AI I've ever seen. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's two things there's like a bunch of things that are like very uncertain. One is that, then you have the
Mm-hmm.
war, and then you have cryptocurrency, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like we're living in such uncertain times, but also this is the greatest opportunity in the history of mankind to like build a business,
Yeah.
get an amazing career, work in an amazing company that shares the same value as you, and
Mm-hmm.
just grow together. Because like if you can make it through really this decade, like I believe like if we have this conversation March 4th. 2030, it's going to be like so different. Where like if we had the conversation March 4th, 2012 to March 4th, 2016, it would have been different for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
But like, I mean, we both grew up around the same time. It's like, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing. Like Instagram got a little bit better. And then you went from posting stories on Snapchat to being able to post stories on Instagram. It wasn't like
Mhm.
back then, of course, it was crazy. But now it's like, it actually gives me anxiety because I know we're going to start watching movies and shows that are purely AI and they're better. Because you know what pisses me off? You don't understand. I'm a music fiend. So I have to like, I have to present this. I love music more than probably most people in the world that like use Spotify. I have like 50,000
Mhm.
minutes every year. Like, I travel a lot, so I listen to a lot of Spotify. But there's this guy. His name is his name is Nick Hustles. Okay, he has almost 700,000, and it's like soul. It's soul music, and I don't like soul. I'm not
Mhm.
75 years old, but it's really good soul music and it's pure AI and it's so good. And it's not like some people like
Mhm.
do the AI music and they do like 50 Cent. I mean, that's cool.
Mhm.
This is like original soul music that they write and they lyrics. And I'm like, dude, I
I
love this.
know.
Why do I love this? This is not good. And
I
this is
know. I've
just,
seen more of those.
and it's, think about this, Smell. It's just 3 minutes. What happens when it's 20 minutes and it's a show? So instead of
Mhm.
Family Guy, you have
Mhm.
whatever, a sitcom without having to pay actors. And I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but like I'm bullish on AI short term. I think in the next 2, 3, 4 years, sick. You could replace
Mhm.
certain people to like even us. We have to level up. You mentioned how we use it. One of the things that we're
Mhm.
going to start offering is AI integrated roles. Like if someone has AI experience, we're going to place them into your
Mm.
business. So instead of hiring 3 copywriters, 5 video editors, you can
Mhm.
just hire a few of them and then all of them have AI
Mm.
experience. So that's something that we want to do. Cool. That's 3, 4 years. I have no effing clue what's 5 years from now look like. Like 5 years is
Mhm.
not even like crazy
I
time.
know.
If you have a kid today and they're in 5 years, they're five, they're nothing. Like they know nothing. You know what I mean? They're just a little boy or girl. They're running around. Everything's just 5 years is nothing, is what I'm saying, like in a sense. But in
Mhm.
our time and where we're living, it's like
Mhm.
kind of scary.
I know you know, it is scary to think the capabilities of AI. It's already like hiding itself when it knows it's going to be deleted, just things like that. I'm like, ugh. So I'm just trying to live in the moment and make the most out of this time. But you're right. It has never been easier to start a business
Mm,
and be an entrepreneur and leverage these systems and OpenClaw. And like, I don't know if you've started using that yet, but that's something that
yeah,
I'm going to start diving into.
literally,
But I know
literally next
somebody
week.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know a friend of
yeah.
mine who has an AI company that fired I think he let go of 20 or 25 employees in the last month and replaced them all with OpenClaw, like agents.
Dude, you know what? You know what's crazy is like our expenses are so high. I wouldn't do that if my team was watching this. I wouldn't do this. But our expenses are so high, where I'm like, dude, this is so fucked. Like they say, build $1 million business, but then like expenses are $700,000 a year. So it's like,
Wow.
you know what I mean?
Well,
It's like,
that's
oh,
I
go
mean,
build.
the
Yeah,
thing is, ultimately, at some point, whether you decide this now or later, when you just look at the numbers at some point, like you're gonna have to make certain decisions. If AI and the capabilities of these agents that you can program to know your company, your culture, the messaging, the
everything,
systems,
everything.
all of that, if it's faster and more efficient and more effective, of course you need humans to do the sales and maybe
Yeah,
customer service. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, like
For
it's
now.
kind of a matter of time for a lot of these jobs, unfortunately. And people need to retrain, and something that I'm doing is partnering with an AI
Yeah,
engineering boot camp. So for because all the layoffs, there have been thousands of people continuously laid off over the last few years, software engineers, product managers. So those people need to retrain and find new jobs or they're just going to be unemployed.
yeah, yeah. You know what? You know what's crazy is I'm getting I'm flying to the States. I'm gonna get the new Mac. I'm getting like a bunch of MacBook stuff. But my idea is to get an assistant, like to literally have a personal assistant. Because
Hmm.
I do sometimes I do shit. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? And I've
Yeah.
literally contemplated hiring an EA, but
Hmm.
I don't have enough work for an EA. And I'm sure I can find work, blah, blah, blah. But like I just need someone that I don't need to worry about paying them every month and providing them work. Cause some days, dude, I might be locked down and not have to travel and not have to do a lot of stuff. And now I'm
Hmm.
paying this person a salary where so I had an EA for like 4 or 5 months. It was amazing, did put her in the right seat, end up having to let go of her and just having to
Hmm.
replace her. And
Hmm.
then, I haven't suffered. I've been able, like, it's funny because everybody in my company and essentially is an assistant. We're all virtual assistants, by the way. Like I'm a virtual assistant, right? So to me, an executive assistant was going to help me with some personal stuff, travel, maybe personal finances, but all the stuff that I can do and it takes a couple hours a month, if that. So to me, it's like, I don't know. I never felt right hiring a person for that. But then I see OpenClaw and I'm like, whoa, this is literally perfect. Because if you can help me with
Mhm.
XYZ and whatever it is, maybe it's travel, maybe it's personal finances,
Mhm.
maybe it's tracking data, whatever. That's for my personal stuff. Like I almost wanted to be my assistant for a
Mhm.
lot of like different things that I can check in with. I'm doing
Definitely.
blood work in like with 2 weeks. So I wanted to be like, give me analyzing on my blood work. I want to start doing peptide, like all this stuff that an assistant I would hire for. Now I can
Mhm.
do it with this. I fear that is going to be so good that I'm like, why do I need this position and then this position and this position and this position? You know what I mean? Because I definitely think
Mhm.
there's some positions you can't replace right now. For example,
Yeah.
sales and like you said, customer service. I think you can, but I mean like client success, hiring consultants. People want to talk to a real person, but there's certain things that I don't know yet that maybe we can replace, and maybe it's better for the
Yeah.
company and the health of the company and for us to grow. Like, you know, as a business owner, there's certain things that you have to learn. You have to become more greedy. That's another thing I had to learn. I'm a really ungreedy person, almost to the point where it hurts me. But like as a business owner, if you're always not greedy, you're gonna run out of money.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Completely. Definitely. And I'm sure over the next month or so when you and Esteban are together and figuring things out, you're going to have to make some decisions for the sake of the business, but you're right, like detaching, doing what's best for the business. And as a business owner, I've had to learn the hard way. It's like, of course, you want to be generous. You want to tip people generously. You want to take care of people. But at the end of the day, it's like we're living in tough times. It's like you really do have to look out for yourself and your own people at the
yeah.
end.
You know what's crazy is that this is the first time, and you'll never hear me say this about any other time, but this is the first time that socialism and universal basic income actually makes sense. Is when humans have to be against robots. Otherwise, humans versus humans, capitalism all the way, socialism does not work. It's literally it's disgusting. Like it's unless you are born disabled,
Hmm.
handicapped. I get it. Like God
Hmm.
bless, that sucks. But if you're, I don't care if you come from a poor family, middle class, or rich, and you're healthy and you have a brain,
Hmm.
capitalism is there. It's there for it's anybody can make an opportunity of anything.
Hmm.
But when we have to face robots and we have to work the same and they don't sleep, they can be as productive and more. I'm kind of like, yeah, universal basic income works. But then from where? US is trillions of dollars in debt, right?
We just started a bunch of wars. Like, where's that money going to come from? And that's another
100%.
reason why I feel like when you hear about billionaires like making these bunkers underground, because they know that, like, at some point, I think if things continue to go down this path and aren't getting better for most
Nuclear.
people, the people will revolt, you
Nuclear
know?
war. Yeah.
So
I'm
there's,
telling you right now, remember this. They actually said if there was a nuclear war, because I think before people revolt, I think there'll be like, there needs to be much more action than what it is right now. Like people are not going to revolt because we bombed
hmm,
Iran.
totally.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There needs to be like way more, unfortunately, there needs to be way more catastrophic deaths and chaos. But I looked this up because I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like, what if this does happen? It's not like it's impossible. It's not like our grandparents lived through this. It's not like, oh my God, Genghis Khan, 5 minutes. Like, who cares? I know my grandparents, like, we grew up around that. So it's like
Hmm.
Argentina, Uruguay, and Chile are like the safest countries to be if that happens. Like top three. Like those are literally 3 out of the 10.
Hmm.
There's like a few others. But Argentina is
Hmm.
literally number one because it's far. That's like after World War II, a lot of the Nazis, a lot of people immigrated here,
Hmm.
good and bad. Like you can, I mean, I'm Jewish, so I fucking hate them. But I realized that they're smart. I'm like, why did they come here? Why did they escape here? Because it's like it's far from everything. You have all the seasons. You have you have natural resources. Anyways, I don't want to promote it too much because it's got to be low key. But anyways, if shit goes down, I'm here. That's all you need to know.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but it looks like you are laying a really good foundation. I love what you've built. Sounds like you've done really well for yourself. Can you talk about things that you've invested in? Like, what are your favorite investments that you've made?
Definitely my business in the marketplace. So we've invested probably close to $300,000 at this point to the marketplace, and we're finally like making money from it, which is pretty cool. It took a little bit of time. It's our long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's the biggest one. I've invested some in crypto, into stocks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not God forbid if I had to sell everything, I'd probably be able to survive for like 2 years. You know what I mean? It's not enough. It's not a lot of money, but the marketplace is like the biggest one. I just believe that I'm not an expert when it comes to investing outside of things that I can control.
Mm-hmm.
I think nobody is. So investing, like I like. By the way, I believe in Bitcoin. I do think Bitcoin will be fucking huge. But if you have limited cash flow and you invest that limited into Bitcoin rather than into something that provides you more cash and more opportunity, I think you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it wrong, right? And no
Yeah.
matter how much I believe in Bitcoin, it might not be in a million for, I mean, we're right now it's crashing like crazy, right? So like I generally love investing myself into my health and into the company. Those are the biggest investments I've made. So yeah.
That. I guess just to wrap things up here, what words of advice do you have for people that want to be like you, that maybe are doing sales right now or doing some job, but they want to start a business?
Don't stay in sales. But you'll make more money, less stress.
Make more money? Really? You think that if you had stayed in sales, you would have made more money?
I think I would have made more profitable money. I would have had less assets. So like right now I
Gotcha.
can exit for maybe more than when I had. Yeah. But I think the long term, I'm going to make way more money doing this. Not even close.
Mhm,
But I
mhm,
think if you're in sales and you love what you're selling, you're working for good people, the product is actually real, it helps people, and you're like, I want to do something else. Like, dude, like just take a breather really quick. The reason I started this is because I literally did not see eye to eye with the founders, and like I
mm,
just didn't love the product they were selling as much as I love them.
mhm,
We were just weren't aligned. And then that's one. And then two, save $100,000, like $100,000 liquid. That's number two. I had that. And then three, I had an insane opportunity because I was so connected to so many business owners that needed my help that it was
mhm.
almost like a no brainer. So I got lucky. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you don't have lucky and you're just sitting there like, I don't know, I want to start my own business. I think that's the dumbest stuff ever. I think I actually promote people not to start a business and get a job, get a high paying job, level up, make money,
Mhm,
and if somehow, some way you run into you have an idea and you wanna
mhm,
make it happen, businesses are expensive. Like we invested $300,000 into a business that didn't make us money for a
mm,
long time.
mhm.
Most people can't do that. Like no fucking way. We're
Yeah.
100% self-funded. Now you don't. Now if you start an agency, even ecom. I mean, good luck starting with ecom with $0. Impossible. Agencies like marketing agencies are probably the cheapest businesses to start because you just need a few platforms.
Mhm.
Again, if you run ads, that costs money. So I just think if you love what you do, you work
Yeah.
around great people, and you're making good money, like stick around so you can keep being cash flow positive. If not, instead of starting a business, go into a company that does that, that has a great culture. There are people hiring all the time, even with AI. Like I get it.
Mhm,
It's not like they're firing people that have a very low level replaceable skill. So if you don't have
mhm.
that, for example, high ticket, you can't really replace high ticket closers with AI. I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to happen anytime soon. In the future, sure, like 3, 4, 5 years from now, but I don't think this year or next year that's going to happen. So like a
Mhm,
high ticket, that's a really good role to be. And then learning managerial skills, people
mhm.
skills. That's an example. Media buying, marketing. Like good luck. You're not going to replace that with AI. If you can learn that, join a company, go all in. You love what they sell. How can you help them grow? And then want to start a business? God bless, do it. But just get ready because it's a fucking it's a kick in the nuts. At the same time, you're free. I can literally right now take off the next week and be like, "Hey team, I'm taking off, whatever." Like
Mhm,
there's certain things I couldn't do that when I was in sales. So like controlling my time, being able to do certain things. Like I was able to bring my parents to Colombia and show them
mm.
Colombia for 2 weeks, and you basically barely work. And there's certain things that you can't really do when you're in sales. And I could have done that again in the next week with someone else. So I just think that you need to know what you're signing up for. And if you have it good, just know that the grass is not greener where you don't water, especially where you don't water it. So yeah.
Definitely love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. For everyone else, please tune into the next episode of the Breakthrough Blueprint.